This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Choosing a bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drink that's all flavor and just 100 calories? Easy. Choosing between creamy vanilla, double chocolate, and sea salt caramel flavors? A little harder. Try the delicious new Starbucks Frappuccino light drinks. Look for them wherever you buy groceries. Start with Starbucks coffee.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Bwaaa, King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike. Who is that?
And
guy?
I am Rusty.
There he is. He's the Hell Yeah guy. It's the Hell Yeah guy from the internet.
The Hell Yeah guy.
Hey, happy Father's Day, Rusty. We are recording
Happy
this on
Father's
Sunday.
Day.
We're recording this on Sunday. You have offspring. I have offspring. And
Yep.
you know what really slaps me in the face on this kind of stuff is that, boy, it is nowhere near like Mother's Day, is it?
No, not the same.
There's nothing. Kids aren't in town. Nobody comes by. It's just, oh, yeah, it's Dad. It's fine. You know.
Yeah, it's just that whatever kind of feel. Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to do with this is I want us to get in the right frame of mind. So I'm going to play a little short thing here real quick, and we'll come back on it. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Here we go.
See what you...
Man, I'm telling you right now, if that doesn't get you in the mood for this, I don't know what does. You know,
No, I'm ready for it. You know,
you're not kidding.
it's pretty exciting. Well, recently, the most exciting thing I think that's happened out of that world is FORTNITE.
Yeah, FORTNITE. That's what I was going to talk about. FORTNITE
Fortnite.
partnering with 3, maybe 4 very well-known cartoon entities. So let me
all Fox related, and it's kind of funny because one of them canceled the other.
That's right. Let me play that intro real quick. We'll talk about it.
On me. I need help. Any help, any kind of help would be amazing right now. Cleveland, help. I thought we were a squad, Cleveland. Great, they got me. I'm down.
Sorry, Bob. I don't have any weapons.
What have you been doing the last 5 minutes?
I've just been doing all the dances, man. Look at that boy doing the gritty. No.
Maybe our teammate Propaniac can revive us. Hello? Propaniac, do you have a mic? Hello? Uh-huh. Yep.
I am not a FORTNITE player, but
I've played FORTNITE, and I will play FORTNITE. But
it even excites me because I'm just like, oh, that would be kind of cool. Because I wouldn't mind playing as Bob or Hank, you know?
No, it's fun. It'd be fun to play as any of them, really. But you know what it really tells me? It tells me that the creators of these shows are ready to be a part of the next generation, because it's like, no, like these are all older shows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think Bob's Burger was on right when I was getting out of high school, so that's been on for a while. King of the Hill was on when I was like 7 years old, so it's just seeing that these shows are ready to like dedicate themselves to the next generation of fans. Another thing that I wanted to talk about too was the Funko Pops tomorrow release. It's the four alley guys.
Oh, really?
Boomhauer, Bill, Dale, and Hank, Happy Father's Day, blah 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 blah. And it also has Hank on a mower is the other one.
Wow.
It's Hank on a riding mower.
Yeah.
So there is those, I guess, what's that? 5 Funko Pops that are out.
Yeah, 5 of them. So they've never put out any King of the Hill related stuff, huh?
I guess. I don't know. I guess they're all in on it.
Yeah. Let's see. I was going to try to show. Here we go. Man. I didn't know about those. I knew about the Fortnite thing because you sent that to me, but I did not.
Yeah, the Funko Pops, something I've been checking out.
Yeah. Let's see. That's a WebP. I don't understand why everything on the web is already all of a sudden everything is .webp, which Photoshop, none of those places use it. So I'm not real sure why that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one.
Okay, so Fortnite partners with Bob Burgers, Family Guy, and King of the Hill for a Father's Day promotion. Bob Belcher, Cleveland Brown, and Hank Hill coming to Fortnite. Father's Day themed promotion, the 20th television animation. Players will be able to purchase items as either a bundle or via a la carte. Not sure how that works in Fortnite. Partnership is a key moment. Say it again.
It's the ever famous V-Bucks.
Hmm.
So if you have the right amount of V-Bucks, you could get it. I think the dollar equivalent per character is around $20.
Really? It costs you $20 to buy one of these characters.
But it's everything. You get all the individual things with it. If you piece it out, it's probably more, I'd imagine.
It says the partnership is a key moment of synergy. Disney's 20th TV animation is behind all 3 shows, and Disney has a $1.5 billion stake in Fortnite. The owner, Epic Games. I did not realize that Disney owned.
Yeah, Disney has a huge stake in it. A huge stake. I wouldn't say they own it, but I would say they have a stake.
It says, here's how Fortnite in-game event is being promoted. Maybe you're a Bob serving puns rarer than your burgers, or a Hank passionate about propane and silently judging uneven lawns. Or maybe you're a Cleveland. You love minor league baseball and hats and ooze classic dad charm. Bob Belcher comes from Bob's Burgers, voiced by H. John Benjamin. Cleveland Brown comes from Arif Sahar, and Hank Hill, whose starring role in King of the Hill is about to return as part of the show's season 14 revival, is voiced by Mike Judge, of course. This is what's going to be offered. So Bob's Burgers, Bob Belcher bundle, 3,200 V-Bucks.
3,200 V-Bucks. All right.
You get the outfit is Bob Belcher. The pickaxe is Bob's spatula. The back bling is a flying burger. Your emote is Bob's happy dance, and another emote is burger of the day. So the emotes
I would have lost $100 bet if somebody ever had to bet me that I would ever hear Mike say back bling.
And then let's see, Family Guy. So the Cleveland Brown bundle is 2,900 V-Bucks, so it's not as much, which I guess he's least popular. Your outfit is Cleveland Brown. Your back bling is Cleveland's mailbag. Pickaxe is mailbox, and emote is a mailman stroll. So you don't get to do the dance that he was making his own character do.
Yeah.
And then of course Hank Hill, 3,500 V-Bucks, so the most expensive. Outfit is Hank Hill. Pickaxe is sirloined tongs.
No, you collect emotes. So all the emotes that he was doing.
I see. You can collect the dances.
You can collect them.
I got you. His back bling is Strickland propane tank. His emote is Alley Hangout, and the wrap, whatever that is the gas gauge. What's a wrap?
Wrap. I don't know that one.
I don't either because it says WRAP, gas gauge. Anyway, it says Bob's Burgers was created and produced by Lauren Bouchard, Nora Smith, Daniel Feibel, Rich Rinaldi, Greg Thompson, John Schroeder, Steve. I don't know why I'm reading all these names. Family Guy also airing on Fox. Anyway, I think that pretty much squeezes all of that.
Yeah, Peter's already in the game.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Peter's already there. Peter was one of the first. Peter was one of the first like matchups, I guess, with those late night TV animated people.
I would want to play as Peggy though.
They have an AI Darth that you could talk to, the Darth Vader, and it talks back to you.
That's creepy.
But it was a collaboration because when he died, he signed his voice rights over to Disney.
Yikes. Okay.
So his voice could be used in whatever. I can't remember his name. The guy who did Mufasa and
Yeah,
Darth
I can see
Vader.
his face now, and I can't remember his name.
Man, I feel
Uh,
bad. I don't know his name. I feel
Yeah,
terrible
it's been a
about that
while.
because I know who he is. I know exactly who he is.
Blah 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 says happy Father's Day, y'all. Same back at you. Artie says my nephew said he's seeing
James
Hank
Earl
on
Jones.
Fortnite. Yep. And then
James Earl Jones.
Alexander Green says they look pretty lame. Blah 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 says I just set up my old King of the Hill figures with the fence background. I bet that's cool. Luke asked if we're doing an episode after this. No, we're doing a special Father's Day short one because I got people waiting on me, and then we're doing a Friday after this. So we'll do those real quickly, and then next Monday, I swear to God, we'll get back in the saddle. And by the way, James Earl Jones.
Yeah, it's James Earl Jones. He signed, like I said, he signed his name. He signed his AI away, his voice away to be used in AI.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing I wanted to touch on. There's a little article here. It is from some site. It is King of the Hill. 5 times Hank was a great dad, and 5 times he was terrible. So we'll just kind of skim through this list real quick and see what we can come up with. Why would it start at number 9? What happened there? So we're going to call it all right, 9. Number 9, terrible. This is one of the terrible ones. Freaking Bobby out over an insurance policy. Insurance policies give a lot of peace of mind, but they also make people dependent on its underlying security theater. The counterintuitive dynamic is set at the storefront of Mutual of Omaha, where Hank suddenly realizes he forgot to mail his check to his insurance firm. Having depended on the company for so long, Hank goes into overdrive to safety-proof the house, going as far as to have Peggy and Luann stay at the park if they're in fear of them getting into an uninsured accident. You remember that one?
I actually do not remember that episode at all.
I think it's the one with the check. All right, where he has to break up the checkbook and he realizes he never sent that check.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that one. That must be a later one.
I remember it. It wasn't too long ago. He sits down at the table. Yeah, it is a pretty decent episode. He sits down at the table with the checkbook. He's going to pay some bills or something, and he pulls it up and he realizes that he never sent the check. He'd written it all out, signed it, and the whole thing. He just never sent it, and so he kind of freaks out.
We must have not covered that one yet.
By the way, number 10 was a great one. It's when he made Bobby his own ventriloquist doll.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's called Now Who's the Dummy? School trip to a local nursing home introduces Bobby to the wonderful world of ventriloquism. There's a lot wrong with that sentence. After coming across a retired performer, Bobby becomes the new voice behind a sports-themed puppet. This comes to a wonderful surprise of his father, who suddenly finds himself relating more to the puppet's character than his own son. So I guess that could be a good answer.
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah, that one was a really weird one because it kind of started to form a relationship with this fake wooden doll that Bobby was speaking to him through. Such a weird one.
Yeah, and then I think Hank makes his own, right? I mean,
the episode where Bill and Boomhauer fry a bunch of stuff up. Yeah.
Oh, that is that same one. Yeah.
That's
good. That's a good catch right there. Fluttering butterflies, says Artie. All right, so number 8. This was the issue. I printed it on both sides of the paper, and I don't normally look on the back. All right, number 8. This is another great one. Intervening on a makeout party. In Get Your Freak Off, Bobby is at odds with his dad when he tries to censor all his entertainment. That same strict nature starts to feed into his social life when Hank tries to keep him from going to a boy-girl slumber party. I do remember this one. While Peggy and Luann sneak Bobby off, they unwittingly put him in the center of a middle school makeout party. Though Bobby and his friends always wanted to be adults, it's a little too fast for their speed, and a lot of the other kids weren't too comfortable. Lucky for them, Hank shows up and takes care of that. You remember that one, right? Where he busts him out of the boy-girl kissing party?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, definitely remember that one for sure.
Yeah.
I had to think for a second which one that was. Yeah, the 7 Minutes in Heaven. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. All right, number 7. This is a terrible one. Focusing on Connie's music career. It's no secret that Bobby Hill didn't end up the kind of kid that Hank ever wanted. He wasn't an athletic superstar, a social magnet, smartest kid on the block, or even the hardest working student. Bobby was just a funny kid that was really comfortable in his own skin. Hank's wish to have any other kid besides Bobby does pop up a few times in this series, but it's really apparent in The Bluegrass is Always Greener.
Oh, that one's the one where they go to Branson and Blue Moon of Kentucky, keep on rising. Vince Gill.
Yep. He neglects Bobby. He tries to live out his dreams. It all comes around in the end, though.
Yeah,
now,
it does.
the one
It's
thing,
a really weird episode.
the one thing I'll take umbrage to out of what they're written here. It says Hank's wish to have any other kid besides Bobby does pop up a few times in the series. Now, I don't know that he would give his kid for anything. And
no, he loves Bobby.
At the ATX panel, we heard Pamela Adlon say that Bobby has always had game. So Bobby's game may be completely different from everybody else's, but he has always had game.
Yeah, Bobby's fly. Yeah, Bobby's all right.
I mean, a funny guy does okay.
Yeah, Bobby's good.
Here's a great one, supporting Bobby's romance with Connie. While Hank managed to get under both Bobby and Connie's skins in the Bluegrass episode, more often than not, he has been one of their number one supporters of their relationship. That is very true. That's a very true one. I don't think I've ever seen him say anything about those two going out together. You know, that.
No, not really.
And then, you know, if you think about that, and this again goes to that thing where everybody thinks he's a red state or he's a MAGA guy or whatever. She's Laotian. He has never said anything about that. The next episode we're covering is the one where Lady Bird barks at black people, but that's not really the case. It's just the fact that the guy is working on something that Hank wants to work on. Yeah. So I think those shout in the face of that whole, oh, he's just another MAGA guy or whatever. It's not true. And honestly,
I don't think he is.
What we're getting, if we get the same old Hank, this is exactly what we need right now in this country because of the way that everything is. We need this more than anything. Here's a number 5, Terrible, taking over his rose gardening hobby. Yeah. He's not
that one. Yeah, I remember that one.
It's a weird one also. It's called The Sun Also Roses. Bobby takes up gardening roses out of his closet. He says he's not interested in growing great roses, but just in growing them at all. When Hank catches wind of this, he accepts his hobby, but tries to integrate. This is the one where he goes to the head shop and has to talk to those guys, but ends up getting a sponsorship from them.
At first they think that he's some old dude trying to buy some stuff to grow weed, but it ends up he just wants to grow roses. Yeah.
Well, again though, they end up getting a freaking sponsorship from these guys. I mean, that's
definitely
that's the best part of it to me. All right, here's a great one. This is number 4, teaching Bobby the basics of sales. Let's see. Hank Hill is not the embodiment of a typical salesperson, but he should be. He's hardworking, ethical, and trusts his intelligence with his customers. He tries to pass on these traits more to Bobby in the miseducation of Bobby Hill. However, though he tried to teach his son about the intricacies of the product, Bobby was inevitably seduced by the competitive, fast-paced nature of Buck Strickland's other salespeople. This is the one where he tries to take on, tries to be the slick salesman, and he realizes that what it comes down to is relationship with your customer. And
you're talking about that guy that comes down and wants to be, I want to be a Texan. I want to be a Texan.
No, I don't think it's that one. I think it's, let's see, it is, even when working under M.F. Thatherton, Hank, this is the one where Hank gets sold
Hank
over to Thatherton.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, not a good one. I mean, it's a good episode. I'm saying it's not a good thing for him. All right, so that is 4. This is 3. Terrible, forcing Bobby to work for Jimmy Witchard. That is a pretty bad thing.
That's a tough one, yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, Luke says famous line in that episode referring
to
a
tough one.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. Foot to head, everyone's dead. I like that. That's it. Because of the wiping of the tank. You know, you got to wipe the tank the right way.
Foot to head, everyone's dead.
And then they had the sales competition board behind them. Remember that in the last
sell the water, Bobby.
That's different. Hard work is a life trait, but one shouldn't rely on it to be the be all end all. This is Life in the Fast Lane, Bobby's saga. Hank tries to motivate Bobby by getting him the job as new snack boy at the racetrack. I don't even have to read the rest of this one because it goes.
Get a new snack boy, Bobby.
It goes bad for Bobby, And this is the only episode we see Hank Hill kick somebody's actual
He actually
ass.
kicked somebody.
I mean, he goes
I'm
after
gonna
Bobby
kick your
Witcher and
ass.
kicks the shit out of him. All right, number 2, great. And you know, that's the thing. Like that one, they're calling it a terrible, but it ends up being a great because he does
I
go
think it's
after
pretty
the guy
good.
for his kid.
Well, he
you
does
know?
chase him down and kick him. Yeah. So
He kicks him pretty freaking hard. Number 2, great. Giving Bobby relationship advice with Auto Shop. In Talking Shop, Hank tries to push Bobby into taking Auto Shop as an elective, but in an attempt to meet girls, Bobby signs up to be a student counselor. Breaking all the rules of counseling, Bobby tries to ask out a couple of his students, which result in both terrible advice and broken hearts. When it eventually leads to one of the girls trying to stalk Bobby, he leads her back to his house where Hank has 2 of them hash things out over fixing the car. While it's not the most direct method, Hank had an elegant way of getting the kids to vent their frustrations while doing something productive. That's fair.
fair enough. Yeah.
And then the last one is the smoking episode. This would be a terrible one.
Horrible. Probably worse.
It's what it says. It says, this is possibly the worst thing that Hank has ever done to Bobby. After finding the boy experimenting with one cigarette, Hank tries to break him off of nicotine for good by forcing him to smoke an entire carton of cigarettes. He himself becomes enraptured by the cigarette smoke and falls back in his old smoking vices. This is also, is this not the one where they find Peggy smoking in the closet?
I'm in here knitting. Yeah.
I'm knitting. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that one. That's
a really good one.
That's one of my favorite episodes too. That's a really good line.
That's a great.
I'm in here. Can't you see I'm knitting?
That's a great episode. Yeah. And that's the top 10 good and bads of being a father. If you're Hank Hill. I mean, ultimately, when you look at all of this, you know, ultimately Hank's a great dad. We all have our times where we look at our kids sideways and wonder how that happened. But I think all of us would do anything we possibly could for all of our kids.
I think it's the other way around for my kids. I think they look at me and they're like, how did that happen?
Well, that's a given for mine also. I mean, I'm just saying fatherhood's a great thing. But it is an awesome responsibility as well, you know, and so there's a lot we have to do for our kids. And, you know, as my wife reminded me the other day, it doesn't stop at a certain age. So she's very right. I mean, those kids didn't ask to be brought here. We brought them, and now we got to do right by them. So I would like to say Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Anybody who's on, Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Happy Father's Day, dude.
Yep. Happy Father's Day.
That's how you say it. That's right. But that's it. We're going to go get to some Father's Day activities, which mostly means sitting down and watching TV. And we thank all of you guys for being here. We are going to do one small Friday after this if you want to stick around. But other than that, I think, can you tell them how to contact us?
Yeah, you could find us at BWAAA. That's 3 A's, KOTH on all social media. You can also email us at BWAAAKOTH@gmail.com.
Growing up, I always felt that dads were shafted and thought of as optional. I grew up in the early 2000s, and I love my dad more than anything. And then Artie's got the hang loose. Yeah. Hey, and one last thing. What do you got?
Wimatanya.
There it is. Wimatanya indeed. We will see you guys next time. And hey, once again, thanks for being here.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.